The space race was never just about getting a man on the moon. It was about fighting wars on Earth. In 1966, the Soviets test a weapon of mass destruction that can dodge America's early warning system by using the physics of space. By 1961, the U.S. is protecting itself by building a network of giant radars that can detect incoming weapons launched from Russia.
If the Soviets are going to attack the United States via missile launches, they're going to fly those missiles on the most direct route, and that's over the North Pole.
The radar system gives the U.S. a big advantage. It has time to respond.
It would give them 20 minutes. 20 minutes doesn't sound like much, but that would be enough for us to get a retaliatory strike underway.
For the Soviets, this warning system poses a big problem. They no longer have the capability to unleash a secret, decisive attack.
Now the Soviets need to find a new way to attack.
If they could launch an attack from someplace else, the Americans would not be able to detect them, and we won't be prepared for it. And so they come up with this brilliant idea.
The Soviets have already launched satellites into space. Why not do the same with a nuclear bomb?
And it's called the Fractional Orbital Bombardment System.
The idea is simple and terrifying. The missile enters orbit, circles the planet, and can be directed to strike in any direction at any time.
The way the system works is it's launched into orbit and then it just waits. Once the signal is given to attack, it leaves orbit, enters Earth's atmosphere, and then it releases its warheads. And what's so deadly is that they're very close to the target.
It could drop a nuclear weapon on us at any point. And in this way, the Soviet Union would win the chess game and get checkmate.
That is terrifying.
But first, the Soviets need to test to see if it works.
In the bleak midwinter in the Kazakhstan desert, the Soviets launched their brand new missile.
It's programmed to land 4,000 miles away in Kamchatka. To avoid destroying northeast Russia, the tests are conducted without a warhead.
The FOBS tests begin to go wrong immediately. The missiles go off target, they break apart in the air, they rain down on parts of the Earth.
The embarrassing setbacks threaten to derail the project.
The mechanics of rerouting the missile into its attack position are difficult to perfect.
But the Soviets keep pushing, and the missile improves with each launch. In the summer of 1967, American spies deliver a highly classified report with news the Pentagon has been dreading. The secret orbital missile actually works.
The successful tests travel across the South Pole, but most importantly, they dodge those Arctic radar systems.
The test is non-nuclear, but it provides a powerful proof of concept that they can do it. And if they decide to do it, what they're going to sling toward the Earth is a 5-megaton strategic nuclear weapon. 5 megatons is not going to look pretty if it's directed at Southern California.
In November 1967, the Soviets unveil their new missile at a Red Square parade, announcing they can deliver a nuke to anywhere in the world. Their secret weapon is no longer a secret.
The Soviets have created something so frightening that the UN steps in. In 1967, both superpowers signed the Outer Space Treaty, which prohibits the placement of nuclear weapons in orbit. But that doesn't stop the Soviets finding new opportunities, like arming a space station with a secret cannon.
The Soviet military is in the middle of developing a space station, the Almaz. and they want it in orbit as soon as possible. But NASA is ahead of the game with the imminent launch of their Skylab space station.
You've got Russian space stations, American space stations. What happens if they eventually meet? And then if they meet, what happens if that contact is not friendly?
The Soviets don't take any chances. They set up a highly classified military project to prepare for enemy attacks in space by arming the Almaz 2 space station with a fully functioning space cannon.
They approached a Soviet weapons designer to create a gun that can fire in space.
Normal artillery is really heavy, and weight is at a premium in spaceflight, so they needed something a lot lighter.
The Soviet space engineers decide to adapt an autocannon, the Richter R-23. It's the fastest-firing single-barrel cannon ever used by the Soviet Air Force, dispatching 2,500 rounds per minute.
The R-23 was designed for the first Soviet supersonic bomber, so it's already compact and lightweight. It's also brutally effective.
You've got 23 millimeter rounds that are punching these holes from a mile away. So if it can do that on Earth, it's gonna do enough to cause serious damage to any American space station that tries to approach.
But fitting a gun to a spaceship is a little different from fitting one to a plane.
On a plane, you have a rotating turret, and the gun can be turned to follow the target and to shoot it down from any angle. But the engineers can't figure a way to achieve this in a space vehicle.
The cannon has to be fixed in place, so for the operator to line up the target, they'd have to pivot the entire space station, which is a big problem if the target is moving at speed.
And there's another challenge. When the cannon fires, it's going to recoil.
And that's a huge problem in space. When it's fired in zero gravity, the recoil could inadvertently force the orbiting space station well off course.
There's only one way to be sure. In 1974, the Soviets conduct a secret live test.
The Soviets launch an Almaz that has a gun on it. The crew spends about 3 weeks in orbit running various tests, and then they go home because the Soviets don't want to have a crew on board in case the test of this gun goes badly wrong.
The crew's off the vessel, but the space station is still in orbit. It's time to test the cannon.
Officials on the ground fire the gun by remote control. They shoot it once, they shoot it twice, they shoot it 3 times. It's the first time a gun has ever been fired in space.
But firing a gun in space has unexpected downsides.
If you miss your target, that bullet would have so much energy and momentum behind it that it would potentially keep going. There could still be Russian bullets orbiting the Earth.
The test is never repeated, and the gun is decommissioned and stored secretly for 40 years.
It's a weapon that many people didn't even believe existed.
Then, in 2015, a Russian TV show visits a private military collection, and the Almaz space cannon is finally revealed to the world.